Welcome to the Stuck in My Thoughts podcast. It's a place you want to be to hear one-of-a-kind POV. And today's POV comes from me, your host, Justin Stuckey, for the first ever virtual episode for Stuck in My Thoughts. First solo episode. We have a lot in store. We're going to be talking about college football playoff. We're going to be talking about the start of indoor track season. We're going to be hearing from some special guests, Eli Kosiba of Grand Valley State University and Reagan Rutherford of Texas Volleyball. And we're also bringing a new segment to the show called Money on My Mind. So make sure you guys go ahead, like, comment, subscribe. We got a lot in store, so stay tuned.
Whoa. Who knew I would make it this far? They hated, they never believe me. Yeah, I would never drop the ball. I know I make it look easy. Yeah, Mayweather with the defense. I don't care what a critic got to say. I got them picking up the pieces. That mean you really playing with your life. I'm about to come and run it all back. I'm the new era about to snap back. You ain't fitting for it because you all cap like.
Pretty cool intro, I say so myself. What you think, Jay? Tough. We got Justice Hauser in the background producing this from Skyrocket Studios, Stuck in My Thoughts, first ever solo edition. And we got a lot to talk about today. First off, the college football playoff bracket has just been finalized. It's out, and there's a lot of controversy and a lot of thoughts on it. So, Jay, if you could pull up the bracket so that people can see. So we have Clemson moving into that 12th spot after winning the ACC championship, beating SMU. They'll be taking on Texas in an away matchup coming up soon. We've got Tennessee versus Ohio State. That is going to be a great showdown, honestly. SMU is going to travel to Penn State. Going to be a cold environment for all them Texas people down there. And we've got Indiana facing Notre Dame on the road. And for our buys, we got Arizona State claiming that spot right there. We have Oregon on the road as the overall not on the road, at home as the overall 1 seed. We got Boise State and Ashton Jeanty in that third slot, and we have Georgia after winning the SEC championship down in Atlanta, taking on the number 2 spot, and they'll have the first round bye. So, did the committee get it right? There's a lot to talk about on this one, but ultimately, in short, I think they did get it right. The biggest controversy is should SMU be in ahead of Alabama. You look at those 2 teams and their strength of schedule. You look at their record. Obviously, Alabama has 3 losses on the season, losing to Vanderbilt, losing to Oklahoma, and losing to Tennessee. Those are all stiff competitions except for Oklahoma. I think that's what kind of got them out of this. SMU has had a great season so far. And ultimately, this is why you bring in a 12-team playoff instead of the 4. For those smaller conference schools, now they're in the ACC, but those smaller schools to be able to get in and show, hey, we can compete with the best of them. And I think that they earn their right. Looking at who they have beat, though, their wins have not been as significant as Alabama. Alabama has beaten Georgia, who's now the SEC champion. And you look at it to be like, hey, is SMU better than Alabama? Realistically, no. But you can't fault a team for losing a game to Clemson in the conference championship, which they earned the right to be in. Alabama, they were in no conference championship. They're in the best conference. It's harder to make the SEC championship than it is to make the college football playoff. But for you Alabama fans, I'm sorry, but you made neither. But you have a bowl game and a rematch against Michigan, which will be pretty good, I guess. It's not going to be as significant as, the rematch from last year in the Rose Bowl. But I still think the committee got this right. Looking at the playoff picture overall, you say maybe Oregon has the hardest road along the way. They have 3 weeks off. That's a long time to not be playing some football and then just to hop right back into it. So we're going to see how it goes. I think that the committee did get it right. I am, proud of SMU for getting in. Clemson, the Syracuse coach shouted out Dabo Swinney and said, hey, man, we got you in. And he definitely did that. They took advantage of their opportunity, winning in the crunch moment. But you got to see, because Clemson got blitzed by Georgia earlier in the year. I believe it was 34-3, 30-3, something like that in Atlanta. So we'll see. I think Clemson's just there to say, hey, we made the playoffs, because I think Texas is going to steamroll them. But overall, I think this is going to be an exciting college football playoff. And I'm excited to see what a team like Boise State can do with Ashton Jeanty, who is a finalist now for the Heisman. And that's going to take us to our next point. The Heisman finalists have been announced. We have Travis Hunter, we have Ashton Jeanty, we have Cam Ward, and we have Dillion Gabriel. The final 4 that'll be in New York this weekend to decide who will take home the Heisman. Now, sharing my thoughts, who will win the Heisman? I think this is a 2-player race. I'm sorry, Cam Ward. Sorry, Dillion Gabriel, but you guys have had a great season, but you're not winning the Heisman. It's between Travis Hunter and Ashton Jeanty. These guys have been putting on the show all season. But I guess you guys are wondering, Stuck, This is called Stuck in My Thoughts. What are your thoughts on this? Ashton Jeanty, I believe, will have the greatest runner-up Heisman season in history. He has been putting on a show all season. He's so close to breaking that record set by Barry Sanders. So I think he's been putting on a show. He's dominant performance. There's no denying that. But when you have a guy who's been putting on all season on both sides of the field, and Travis Hunter getting it done on the offense and the defense, I think he's got 4 or 5 picks on the season. He's accounted for over 1,200 yards in the air. You just can't deny that. Ashton Jeanty, just imagine, put it in this perspective. Ashton Jeanty goes and plays on an offensive possession, racks up a bunch of yards and a touchdown in a 10-15 drive, 10-play drive, and you're going all the way down. Now Ashton Jeanty goes to the sideline and gets a rest as the special teams and the defense goes on. You're Travis Hunter. You do a 10 to 15 play drive, go score a touchdown. You're right back on the field for defense, and you're playing at a high level, getting pass breakups when they throw to your side, getting interceptions when they throw to your side. They're not really throwing to his side that often because he is such a lockdown cornerback, the best defensive player in NCAA, I believe. So I think that this Heisman Trophy is going to go to Travis Hunter. You just can't deny a guy that is playing at an elite level on both sides of the ball. So Travis Hunter is where I think whose name will be announced on Saturday in New York, but obviously we're going to see how it plays out. But we've talked about a lot of football so far. We're going to transition into another sport who needs more recognition, but this year they've gotten the most watched single season of NCAA volleyball ever in history. And the Volleyball Women's Championship is now underway. We are approaching the Sweet 16. And there's a lot of things to be happy about and a lot of things to be excited about if you're a volleyball fan. But there's only one person that can give us more insight and share her thoughts better than we can, and that's Reagan Rutherford from Texas Volleyball. So let's welcome her in as her team approaches the Sweet 16.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you guys have got a busy schedule right now. I heard you had practice this morning, getting ready for the Sweet 16. How are you feeling for it so far?
Right, yeah, it's been busy. I'm super excited and pumped. It's my last go around being a fifth year, having that COVID year, my freshman year. And so we leave tomorrow. We're headed to Penn State, and yeah, it's exciting time.
That's what's up right there. And you mentioned you're in your fifth year. You were at Kentucky before, and now you came back home to go to Texas. How's that transition been for you this year?
Yeah, it's been good. Being close to home is always great. My family, I get to see them almost every other weekend, whether them coming here or I'm going home. And so it's been a really smooth transition. Even the teammates have become my family. And so it's just super comfortable where I'm at. And it's really nice being back in Texas, having warm weather today.
Yeah, we love it here where we're at right now. I'm in Alabama, but it is pouring down rain and cold. So I want to get back to some better weather soon. But you've had so much experience so far. Like you said, you're in your fifth year. In your first year at Kentucky, you were a part of a national championship team.
Yes.
How do you approach these postseason games when there's a do or die?
Yeah, no, it's very intense with it being single elimination. I think having that experience of knowing how to get to a championship is so important, especially as a freshman, and just not taking any games for granted, and playing, leaving it all out on the court and recovering later. Like you can recover later and you can take a break later, but right when you're in that moment, just going all out and for everything because you could be eliminated and sent home. You just never know.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes there's some shaky games in there. I think who was it? Louisville just survived somebody. That was a close matchup there. So obviously intense, and it's really exciting tuning into some of these games. But you talk about how your teammates have become your family and the support system you have there. You got a chance to be reunited with one of your former teammates in Maddie Skinner. How has that relationship been, being able to reunite with somebody you came into college with?
Yeah, no, Maddie's a phenomenal player, and it's always good having her on your side of the net. We grew up in Houston together. We played club for a year together, and then going to Kentucky was really fun, and we grew really close. And now we're both mature and going on to the rest of our lives. And so it's been really fun to have her and her support and her crazy side and her goofy side and her vulnerable side and all of the things. And so it's really nice to be reunited with Maddie.
That's what's up right there. And I touched on it a little bit. It's not often in going from high school right into college, your first year there, you win a national championship. And
Right.
so you've had that experience and you're now in your fifth year. A lot, not gonna say older, a lot more experienced, a lot wiser. What does it take to win a national championship?
Oh man, there's a lot of factors that go into it, but I think it's going in as a united front, and all people on the team, the whole staff are just all in and engaged in that moment and mentally there, obviously physically there, and not taking anything for granted and just having the gratitude to even be grateful. Like, we're so grateful we're in the Sweet 16. We're not taking that for granted, even though it's an expectation. Just embracing the moment.
That's what's up right there. What do you think it would mean to you to be able to win this one in your last year the way you started, finishing the way you started?
Yeah, no, I think it would be a full circle moment. Like, that would be the best feeling ever. Just winning one my freshman year, my last year heading out, that would be amazing. And I would love for that to happen, and we're gonna make it happen.
Okay, I like the comedy. You heard it here first. If they do their thing, we're gonna replay this clip right there.
Yes.
So I don't want to get too far ahead because you are, finishing out this season strong. But League One volleyball, this pro circuit, this new thing that they're bringing onto the stage. As a former track and field athlete, I know what it's like to have a sport that you love, and when you get to the highest level, you kind of have to go overseas, kind of have to go outside of it. It's not like a NBA, NFL thing like that. But what are your thoughts on this pro league for volleyball?
Yes, no, I think League One is going to do amazing things. They start in 2025 at the top of the year. And it's just so amazing to see these Olympians and these former pro athletes that were overseas coming home, and they got to enjoy Thanksgiving for the first time in however long they've been playing, and they have their Christmas break, and they just get to be surrounded by their support system and their family. And so I'm really happy for these athletes that get to have a homecoming a little bit, and just to be able to play in front of the people and the Americans that they love. And so it's really cool. It's a great opportunity, and it's going to grow the sport, and I'm excited to see what they do.
Yeah. Are you like a NIL for them? I've seen a little bit of posts. Like, what is your relation? What's your connection to them right now?
Yeah, so I'm like an NIL ambassador for them, just spreading the word about it. So I'm glad you asked me about that. But I'm actually going to take my first year as an opportunity to explore and travel overseas. And so I think that's the route I'm going to go on in my first year of pro after college. And so I'm excited about that.
Do you have a preference of where you land when it comes to overseas, or just about the experience?
I can go anywhere and enjoy myself. I think anywhere would be good.
That's what's up. That's what's up. And I hate I didn't put this on the on our question thing, but I would be remiss if I didn't mention this. From what I've seen from your Instagram, you post a lot of faith-based content, and it seems like your faith is at the center of kind of every decision that you've made. How can you speak to your faith and the impact that it's played on your life, not only as a volleyball player, but as a person?
I love that question. I think it was really difficult. Obviously, I transferred from Kentucky, going into a new spot at Texas and having to compete for that spot. And just being in a situation I've never been in before. And I prayed every single day and asked for strength and mental stability and peace. And it was just really relief that came over me, and having God's peace in my heart every day I go into volleyball, because it is something I love. I love playing volleyball, and that's my passion. So just to be able to not think when I'm playing and just be taken over by the presence of the Holy Spirit, and just having God in my corner, like I know that I can do anything because He's in my corner. And so just having that brings me such peace of mind, and I don't even need to stress about anything, just knowing that.
We love to hear that. The Lord brings a different type of peace.
Yes.
That's what's up. That's what's up. If many people that have tuned into my show, they know I'm a Christian, former Christian athlete, but Christian in my life, and you got to have the Lord guiding your steps. So it's good to hear that they were able to lean on Him during that transfer experience and then your everyday life. But on this show, usually we've done you're one of the first virtual episodes, so I appreciate you being one of the first. Yeah, we usually bring them in person, but you're gearing up for Sweet 16, so you got more important things to do. But what we ask everybody on the show is, what do you get stuck in your thoughts about?
That's a good question. Maybe sometimes that I'm not doing good enough, or I'm not enough. And I think that's where I get lost sometimes, when I think I'm not enough and I start spiraling about what I can't do, that's when I know that, okay, I need to take a step back because I've achieved so much in my life and I'm proud of where I am. And I do have a lot of confidence. So when I lose that, that's how I know that someone else is in my head and I just need to focus back on God and what he's doing for me in my life. And he just brings me so much confidence in that, going back to how he supports me and everything.
That's what's up. What advice would you give to other people that may get stuck in their thoughts about, maybe self-confidence or I'm not enough? What advice would you give to them?
I would tell them to look at all the things that they've accomplished. And it's not over yet because everyone always can improve and have that potential. And so just continue to grind and prove to yourself that you are and the hard work that you put behind it.
That's what's up. We love to hear it. Reagan, we appreciate you taking the time to be on the show. Make sure all that you guys are watching this, make sure you go support Texas volleyball. They got a big Sweet 16 matchup against Creighton, right?
Yes, Creighton.
Okay, against Creighton on Friday, noon.
Yes.
Okay, Friday noon. Make sure you guys tap in. This is going to go out before the game, so everybody's going to be supporting. We appreciate you taking the time, especially during the crunch time of the season. So good luck and go win that natty.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
All right, y'all. It was so great to hear from Reagan. But now it's time to talk a little track and field. The indoor season is finally here. And so the main question is, how should you approach the start of the season for NCAA track and field? Well, this is how I looked at it when I was an athlete. It's any meet that's got an official, that's got scoring, and that's got an opportunity to compete. You need to look at it as just that. I hate the term practice meet. There is no such thing as a practice meet. If they got them officials out there, we're ready to run, ready to go. And there's so much you can do. There's such a limited window when it comes to the indoor season. You've got maybe 5 meets before nationals in order to qualify. So you really have to take advantage of all of that opportunity. And there's going to be a few people we're going to talk about today that have maximized that opportunity in a major way. So we're going to start out with a guy who's a Birmingham native, like myself, Ethan Strand, who just broke the collegiate record in the 3K. We're going to take a look at his collegiate record breaking race. That's quite a race right there, Jay. I could never do that. Shout out to Ethan, man. This guy has been in the spotlight since he was around middle school. I heard the name. He's a lot younger than me, but I heard the name coming up through the ranks of, hey, this guy is gonna be a baller. This guy is something different, and he's proven that. He had some transition years when it came to the college space and track, but he's been putting on a performance. And this right here is kind of going through the fruition of his hard work. His dad was a pro. Shout out to the Track Shack. I got to work there for some summers during college, but him and his teammate that have been put on a performance at North Carolina for a long time is just showing what you can do when you put some hard work together. He ran, let me get my notes together. He ran 3K. That's 15 laps, almost 2 miles in 7 minutes and 30 seconds, 0.15. I don't know what the other 0.5 is, but that's really fast. I don't even know if I could run a mile and a half in 10 minutes. So shout out to Ethan Strand. That just goes to show that there is something that you can take from your opportunity, what you can bring to the table, how you can put on a performance, and maximizing your opportunity. Like I said, when the indoor season comes around, you only have a small window to be able to take advantage. And he's just showing, the cross country national champion just showed he's not even going to come back for college because he's going to go pro. So I think it's safe to say Ethan Strand is well on his way to being a professional athlete. He's just signed an NIL deal with Nike, so we could see him in those checks soon on the pro circuit. But congrats to Ethan. We want to give a special shout out to the Birmingham native, and we're excited to see what you continue to do as we move forward into the season. And next up, guys, we have to bring in a special guest, Eli Kosiba from Grand Valley State University. Eli just jumped 230. That's 7.6 for all you non-metric people out there. But we wanted to hear from the man himself, hear his thoughts. So let's welcome in Eli Kosiba.
What's up? I appreciate y'all having me on.
Yes, sir, bro. Appreciate you taking the time, man. You've had a pretty fun last couple of days, man. You've on a whirlwind right now. How you feeling so far?
Man, it feels good. Finally, putting my training together. It's always nice to see that pay off. I've been on cloud nine, trying to stay low, not trying to stay on the high for too long. So, but yeah, I've been enjoying it for sure.
Yeah, man. When I saw it on my phone, immediately I was like, first off, I was a high jumper, so I was like, this is crazy. That's a crazy high jump. I was like, secondly, we got to get him on the show, so I appreciate you taking the time. Right now, we're gonna take a look at your jump for all the people who hadn't seen it this past weekend. Eli just took crazy highs, 230, a 7.6. He's on a high right now. So we're gonna play his video here. Man, give me your thoughts on that one, man. That's a crazy jump. I like the crowd and your fans experience, your friends and teammates experience afterwards.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I've been putting it together in practice. We knew something big was on the way, so my team they knew something was gonna happen. I've been telling everyone all week, pop out to the track meet. I promise y'all, something's gonna go down. So I mean, the bar got up there, and I'm just telling myself, I'm like, look, like this is the opportunity you've been wanting. You know what I'm saying? Like this is the position you want to be in. You either gonna go out there and you're gonna jump it, or you're not. And so after that, I just kind of zoned in, went through my little mental rehearsal, and then once I start that approach, it's just no thoughts. It's fly or die after that.
That's what's up right there. So what was your mindset coming into this competition? You already said you told people pop out to the track. What was it like internally? What was your thoughts through that?
Yeah, so I mean, coming off of last season, I didn't feel like I had something to prove, but I definitely wanted to let the people know, like that that's not me. Like I wanted to show everyone, what I'm about, the type of dude I am, and the type of time I'm going to be on this season. So I just want to come out, put my training together, and get a look at 230. That was the goal, see 230, see what's going to happen. But after my warm up jumps, after I've been jumping, once I saw 230, there was never a doubt in my head. I wasn't like, ooh, it was straight go after that. I was ready to jump it.
That's what's up right there. As a high jumper, you can't have no doubt. You know this thing. When you
Of
see that
course not.
bar, you can't go up there. If any doubt, you're probably not going to make it. But the
100%.
question that I've seen in a lot of comments and wondering myself, how'd you even end up at a D2? You got D1 skills, pro skills now. How'd you end up at a D2 school?
Funny story. I was actually a soccer player at heart. That was what I was gonna do in college. And then COVID hit, and my high school track coach just kept telling me, you can maybe do something in track. You can do something in track. And COVID hit. Financially, I knew I wanted to leave college, in a good spot. Um, the D1 schools weren't really, recruiting me too heavy. I was a 6'7" dude in high school, so I wasn't getting crazy looks or anything. And Grand Valley, my high school coach, he knew the coach out here, put me in touch, and then I came on an unofficial. I liked it. I ended up signing, and then ever since I just been on campus, I just been progressing, and I've always had the motto, the grass isn't always greener on the other side. So I was seeing progress, so I didn't see a reason to leave. I love it here. I got a great community around me, so I stuck it out, and it was definitely a good decision for sure.
That's what's up right there. And what do you think your performance says about finding the right fit for school? Because you see a lot of people, they'll chase the name of a school, and it's important to find the right fit. How do you think that plays into a factor here?
I mean, for track, if you don't click with your coach, if you don't connect with your coach, you're not gonna see progress. You're not gonna get better. So for me, that was a huge factor, and I've always been a big on, I don't got to go D1. I don't have to do this. I'm gonna do this my way. We all got the same goals. We all got the same aspirations. Um, there's not one right way to go and do that. And I kind of, since I was a freshman, that was always in the back of my mind. I wanna do this my way. I want to show people, you don't have to go the traditional route. you can go where you want to go and find success that way. So
That's what's up right there. It's good to hear that because one thing you touched on was if you don't click with your coach, it's not going to work. I think that is very, very true across the board. I've seen a lot of people who have great athlete and coach relationships, and some that don't have those relationships, and it does play a part into your performance. But now that you put on a great performance, 230, you're right now the current leader in NCAA. You probably will be for a large majority of the season. What are your goals for the rest of the year?
the goals really they've been the same even after that bar. Really just consistency. I want jump consistently, 225, 224 consistently. I feel like I'll always get a look at a big bar if I'm jumping that consistently. NCAA champ, and then I feel like the biggest goal right now is jumping that standard, that world standard 233. That's been on my mind since last year. And 230 is definitely a sign that I'm moving in the right direction. But get that world standard and make these world teams for sure. That's the number one goal right now.
Love to hear, love to put something into place. And when you, I think everybody knows this. They say the hardest part is after, not when you're trying to get to the big performance, but after you do the big
Mhm.
performance. So for you, do you feel like there's more or less pressure on you after that jump?
I mean, I don't really feel like there's any pressure on me at all. I feel like I've been competing with a lot of the high level guys for a few years now. So to me, it's just I'm just out there going out there jumping and having fun. I'm not out there to impress anybody. I'm not out there to get approval from anybody. I'm just out there because I love to jump. So I never really feel any pressure. So yeah, I wouldn't say I'd have any pressure on me after that. I definitely feel like I got maybe a little target on my back. People definitely um are gonna try to be on me after that jump, but I love that. I love the competition. That's why I love track. So I wouldn't say any pressure. If anything, it's a reliever. I only have an indoor season left, and I mean, for anyone that knows track, for high jump at least, kind of that next step professionally, post collegiate, you kind of need that 230 mark under your belt to kind of get into some big meets, get that world ranking up, stuff like that. So if anything, it's a stress really or got some stress off of me. So yeah.
Love to hear it, man. Love to hear that you're jumping because you love it. A lot of people get into it for the wrong reasons, and a lot of people lose that love, lose that joy. So it's good to hear that you're still keeping that at the center and you're able to reap those benefits with those big performances. And everybody that comes on my show, everybody knows this now that's been keeping up. Be the first virtual episode we've got. So I usually ask this when they're in person, but since you're away, I want to ask you, man, what does Eli Kosiba get stuck in his thoughts about?
What do I get stuck in my thoughts about on the track?
Just in general, it could be on the track, it just could be in life.
In general, I feel like in the past, I've always kind of been focused on the future a little bit too much. And now I feel like I'm in a good spot where I'm just enjoying, day by day, enjoying the whole process. In the years past, I'd be like, oh, yeah, I can't wait for I'm thinking 3 months down the road. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that always would kind of not come around and bite me in the butt, but it just would leave me in a bad headspace. But I feel like now it's just enjoying the moment. That's what I'd say I'm stuck in my thoughts about now. You know what I'm saying? What am I doing 5 minutes in 5 minutes? So yeah,
That's what's up. That's what's up. Good. You don't look too far ahead and
yeah.
worry about the present right now. But Eli, I appreciate you taking the time. Thank you for joining the show. And we're definitely going to be keeping up with you. Everybody that's watching this, please keep up with Eli. He's got bigger things on the horizon. 230 jump, current NCAA leader in the high jump. And you'll be seeing him soon at some of these world meets. And we got a LA coming up soon. So we're gonna keep you in mind for that too. So I appreciate you dropping by for us, man.
Hey, I appreciate y'all having me on.
Right now, we're going to bring on a new segment to the show. It's called Money on My Mind. We're going to talk about the business aspect of sports. There's a lot of dollars that go behind these sports, and we got to talk about them. Starting off with our boy, Juan Soto. The brother signed to the Mets for $765 million. Y'all. That's a lot of money. But there's a lot of controversy, though, too, because if you know anything about Juan Soto, He was on the Yankees last year, and now he's going to the Mets, who's also in New York. And that's like, what's his name? Aiden Holloway, when he went from Auburn to Alabama. That's like that. You know what I'm saying? And signing for that much money. But I can't fault the brother. $765 million. That is the highest ever contract in sports, higher than Shohei Ohtani with his $700 million. I thought that was crazy. But he only signed for one less year and $5 more million to the Mets. So my girl JoJo out there, she is a huge Yankees fan. I know she's a little pressed about that, but you can't blame the brother. $765 million. You got to ask yourself, what would you do? I would have signed too. So shout out to our boy Juan Soto for getting that contract. If you want to, support the cause, for a little tax reduction, second my thoughts, we're accepting donations, aren't we, Jay? All day. Next up, money on my mind. We've got our girl Paige Bueckers. She just had her first ever player edition sneaker. Nike just gave her the first ever college athlete to ever have their own PE sneaker. And that sneaker looked kind of fire, to be honest. If you know anything about Paige Bueckers, she's a baller. UConn great, UConn legend. She's been a sensation. I think this Caitlin Clark hype has allowed people to forget how dominant Paige Bueckers is. She's gone through some injuries, but she's back on her stuff. And she's getting a PE. Also, Flage, got a shout out to Flage with Puma. She had a PE, but Paige Bueckers is the first, checks over stripes. That's what we like. Shout out to Drake. I don't know where you at. Hopefully you make a return soon because Kendrick, he put you at the bottom. I don't know where you've been at. But shout out to Paige Bueckers. I tried to look up how much money she was making off of each shoe sale. That information is not available. But I understand. I want everybody in your pockets. But her current NIL value is $1.4 million. And for a college athlete, that is rather insane. One day we gonna see the M's, but right now we talking about Paige Bueckers. And so I'm excited to see what she does throughout this season. I think it's pretty cool to look on that court and not only see her wearing her shoes, but her teammates. That just shows the support. And there's so much in this world of comparison, jealousy. It's good to see that her teammates are only supporting her, not trying to pull her down. And I think that's another reason why UConn is so great. Shout out to Gino Ariema and everybody at UConn up there on the women's basketball side. But shout out to Paige Bueckers. What's our next one? Caitlin Clark, the woman who has been in the headline of sports for the last 2 years, basically. Iowa great. Now she plays for the Indiana Fever. But it's been reported that Caitlin Clark makes $100,000 in 30 minutes. There was a CEO who put out a statement that said he reached out to Caitlin Clark's team to be a part of a conference on a Zoom for 30 minutes. And her representation came back with her fee. And that fee was $100,000. Now, Caitlin Clark is making $79,300 something as her salary in the WNBA. For 30 minutes, she's making well over her WNBA salary. Now, like I said, I'm not faulting anybody for charging the prices that they charge. She is, I think, arguably the only WNBA player, maybe aside from Angel Reese, but I still think she's the only WNBA player whose demand can be that high to set at $100,000 for 30 minutes. Now, Caitlin Clark, it's stuck in my thoughts. We would love to have you on the show, but we don't have $10 to give you, let alone $100,000. But if you want to do something out of your kind heart, it is the holiday season. We would appreciate you being on the show. But this is actually crazy, though. $100,000, and she's been reported to have 6 speaking engagements. So that means in the last 6 months, let's say, she's made $600,000 for maybe not even in person, for hooking up the laptop and talking to whoever she needs to talk to for 30 minutes. That's a gold mine. That is what we call highway robbery. So shout out to Caitlin Clark. The money talk and the BS walks. What's the next one? Now this is how we're going to end the show. My guy, Bryce Underwood, who was an LSU commit for a long time, has flipped to Michigan for $10.5 million. And as you can see in the photo here, that was up on the screen, that was me. I got a chance to meet Bryce back in May when we were in Nashville for the On3 NIL Elite event. And he was committed to LSU at the time. But that's before Michigan went out there and threw that bag. And there's been a lot of controversy, a lot of people talking, oh, why would you decommit from LSU? Why would you pay for this kid to come here? Everybody's just chasing the money. Put yourself in the shoes of a 17-year-old kid. If somebody offered to give you $10 million and you don't have to do anything immorally wrong, nothing illegal, and you still get to play the game you love in the uniform that you always dreamed of, wouldn't you go to? Now, I know LSU fans that you guys are kind of sick about it. You know, you didn't have the fulfilling season that you wish you had. You're not in the playoffs. I don't even think you guys finished ranked, and you expected for this stud of an athlete to come in and be the savior for your team, and he's not coming. And I understand the bitterness. I understand feeling some type of way, being in your feelings, as they say, but you got to put yourself in this kid's shoes. He put out a commitment video of him. He had to be 6 years old. And I guess his dad or somebody asked him, hey, where are you going to commit? He's like, Bryce Underwood, I'm going to commit to University of Michigan. Like, that's a dream come true for this young man. And he was a standout guy when I got to meet him. And you can't fault him. In this day of NIL, this world that we live in now in college athletics, they're going to throw that bag. So you got to accept the bag. I'm just so, I don't understand how people are going to hard press a 17-year-old kid for making a decision that's not only going to change his life, but change his family's life. I don't know how many people in his family have seen millions of dollars, but he's going to see it now stepping foot out there at Ann Arbor. So I can't fault him at all. I'm going to give a special shout out to Bryce Underwood. You keep doing your thing, dog. I'm going to be supporting you. You was cool when I met you, and I think you're going to have a great career ahead. And it's just so much more in store for him. And like I said, I'm not faulting anybody for taking the bag, because I take the bag too. As long as you're not, doing anything illegal, anything immoral, chase your dreams. And so it's going to be a significant thing to see how not only LSU can bounce back for this, but how Michigan moves forward into this process. All right, y'all. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this first ever solo edition of Stuck in My Thoughts. It was great to hear from Eli, Reagan, talk a little college football, talk about volleyball, the start of indoor track season, and the new Money on My Mind segment. I hope you guys go ahead, like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned, because we have a great new setup. As you can tell, we're going to be rolling out so much more content. Stay tuned for all the episodes we got coming up in store, and we'll catch you guys for the next one. We out.
Whoa. Who knew I would make it this far? They hated, they never believe me. Yeah, I would never drop the ball. I know I make it look easy. Yeah.